Welcome back. Now, Teboho Gideon Mphuthi, popularly known as TBu Twiz, is a South African upcoming artist born and bred in Sharpeville within the Vaal Triangle. He kicked off his career in 2009 after joining Jam Alley as a contestant and took home the first prize on the show. This gave him a push to start recording and performing his own music. His soaring career started with his hit single, Ska Swenka, and he never looked back since. Well, he joins us in studio to tell us more. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, my sister. Thank you for having me.
I'm so good you're here because I wanted to talk about Jam Alley. You and I were talking about Jam Alley about 2009 that Jam Alley was still there.
Yeah, it was still there.
What do those kind of platforms do, you know, for upcoming musicians such as yourself?
I think for me, I'd say it played a role whereby it helped me, you know, make such decisions to say, you know, this music thing is something that I can do, you know, boosted my confidence in a way. Because if you win at something, I mean, it has to boost the moral in any way. So that's what it did for me. Gave me a platform to like having to reflect and look at myself on TV and be like, so why not, you know?
But how did you know you had talent, you know, that music was a way for you?
I think I've always known that I'm a musical person. I have that musical ear, you know, from church and everything. Because when I started, it wasn't like a rap thing. It was like I used to sing. So I was more focused on like being a vocalist and stuff like that. So that's when I knew that, you know what, I have this, you know, music thing in me, you know, until it developed up until we got to where we are now, whereby we rapping and all of that.
Yeah.
You know, having to be influenced by my surroundings, the people that I get to be around and see doing this thing. So I'm like, let me just.
Who are those people?
I'd say. I just mentioned a guy called Just Sam. He's my homeboy. He's my label partner. So that's the very person that I drawn most of the inspiration from, you know, to have, you know, like, it's always good to like see this thing within arm's reach, you know, not always on the TV and whatnot. So when you see a person closer to you doing it and they do it so good, and they love what they're doing, so I've drawn energy from that in a way, because I'm a very competitive guy. So growing up, it was that thing where I can do better than this guy and what.
Yeah.
So until we got to where we are now.
Speak to us about the themes that you explore in your music and the message that you're trying to convey to your audience.
Yeah. So I'd say because like I'm a very lyrical person, so I don't compromise on the pen.
Yeah.
So I'm not like I'm not into this mumble rap whole thing. I listen to it, I accommodate it, but when it comes to me, I make sure that like my pen is on point. I think it's because I come from a boom bap era. You know, that's when I started falling in love with rap. You know, those people, they speak facts, they speak politics, they speak things that really affects society, things that we can relate to, not talk about chains and money and all of that. So I loved the context of how music was at the time. So that's when I fell in love with it, and that's what influenced like how I approach my music. So I'm a very lyrical person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we grew up in an era where we had slaggies. I don't know if you've ever heard of slaggies.
Yeah, we've been there.
You know, have you been to slaggies?
Yeah.
Was that some of the influence that came up for you?
Yes.
You know, going to stuff like slaggies. And what does that look like in Sharpeville, in the Vaal?
In the Vaal, I think it's quite different now. It's quite different. Slaggies used to be those, you know, when you wanna talk about hip hop, like you talk about such places, you want to be there so that you can come back or jealous something, or you know what, yeah, I know, I saw my mom. We used to obviously idolize like people, and like we have mathematics from the Vaal, so that is one of the people that we used to at that time look up to say, yeah, he's representing us like very well and whatnot. So I wasn't really involved as yet during those times. I was just like at the back scenes, but looking at it like, you know, drawing inspiration and stuff. But things are a bit different now because, you know, we have to move with the times and accept the fact that things are not the same as they were the kids now, they're influencing everything, the sound, the whatnot. Everybody wants to be cool. Nobody has time to go to those hip hop spots anymore and whatnot. So maybe it's because they're not as accessible as they were before. So it's a bit different. But one thing I can say about the Vaal and hip hop is, you know, we next. We next.
Yeah.
We next.
And how has your style evolved over the years? Looking at how your career started, 2009, here we are, 2024, and you're looking at your growth and saying, you know what, this is where I started and this is where I am right now.
How has my style evolved? Okay, I just put it this way. Before, it was more of a rap, just so you can fit into something. You can have a home, you can be like someone. So it was a lifestyle thing where I want to look cool, I want to be cool. But then now how I do it is I'm living it. So everything that I speak about now, it's something that affects me directly, like things that I can relate to. It's no longer before whereby I just want to spit rhymes and, you know, you know those things, hey, I said something, but you can't really tell what you're saying. You're only going to catch it up later. But now I'm more of a, I feel like, you know, there's a word that we use, you know, we are the young hot mans. Yes, we're young, hot man, I know.
Yes.
So hence, like my music has to also reflect to that. You know, I'm not going to be competing with the kids that are coming now. I'm not going to do this sound but when we rap, yes, we can make music, we can collaborate. That's how, again, we grow. We never stop growing. But however, when we are on a song, you have to tell, all right, man, this one and this one are two different
There's
rappers,
a difference, yeah.
from two different spaces. Yeah.
Let's talk about collaborations.
Yeah.
How important are those for an artist?
Yes,
in growing your career as well?
I love that question because I realized that at a later stage, because my team can tell you, this guy used to like rock songs. Aliwan, maybe I was like looking up to people like J. Cole because those people, they never really did collaborations back then. I can't tell about Aliwan, so I wanted to do the same thing. But growing up, I realized, oh no, man. I'm not going to grow if I'm just locked in my bubble. Right. So I need collaborations. You know, a good example, a practical example of how important collaborations are is KO. That guy comes from, I don't know which era of music, but he's still relevant now because he finds energy and relevance, and he always, as much as he's a good rapper, he's a legend, we love him and everything, but he always finds a way to revive, you know, his relevance in the industry by collaborating with the hottest boys that are coming now. So I think it's very important in terms of growth. You're not gonna grow, you know, if you don't collaborate. You're not gonna have to. You have to be able to collaborate in order for you to see the gap. Because how boy you're not gonna be able to see, oh man, I'm still good or I slacked, because times are moving. So you have to have that competitive space that you allow in yourself.
And how did Ska Swenka do? How was it received by the market, and what lessons came with working on that?
Yes, Ska Swenka. I think Ska Swenka, it was just the song that I did that was nice. I was rapping at Vanek back then. It was strictly at Vanek. So how it got me to Shizney's is there's one of the studios in the Vaal that we grew up going to. Shout out to GSE. So there's this guy called Beethoven. He came around there, and then the guys played him my song. Because I think I was doing my third year or something like that. So Ninzakilo and whatnot. Was it my third year, second year? I'm bad with the times, but he came to the studio, they played him the song. And then he was like, no, man, I want this kid, you know. But I think the reason why he received it the way he received it, it was the sound from the Vaal. You can tell when a rapper comes from the Vaal.
Yeah.
We have this lingo, man. We have this Soto that we you know, when we spit it or when we say it, like it's when we talk, it sounds different from Sotho sa Lesotho and whatnot. Yeah.
There's a particular way. All right.
Yeah.
You know, I can't wait to hear what you've got to offer. TBu Twiz, thank you so much for coming. He's a rapper. He was talking to us about his career and being consistent in the industry since 2009.